job simulator, Owlchemy tricked us. With its combination of immersion and humor, Owlchemy Labs somehow made us believe that we enjoyed doing mundane tasks in an office environment. The development team didn't just end up with a solid addition to the VR ecosystem. Job Simulator has become the unofficial VR poster child. It's one of the VR market's best-selling games and dominated downloads on PSVR for all of 2016. But what if the job in Job Simulation was inherently more interesting? What if the job was being a cloned assistant to Rick Sanchez, the most brilliant scientist of the multiple universes of Rick and Morty? Does the show's raunchy and unhinged humor translate? Rick and Morty, for those unfamiliar, is a hysterical cartoon on Adult Swim that sees its two lead characters go on increasingly ridiculous adventures with each new episode. From a theme park inside of a dying hobo to a perfect planet led by Rick's hive mind ex-partner, no crazy situation is out of bounds for this series.
So what are you doing with level 9 access anyways?
Destroying the galactic government.
Awesome!
Main character Rick utilizes a plethora of tools during his journey, and that's where virtual Rick-ality comes into play. You play as a clone of his grandson Morty and are tasked with assisting the team from Rick's garage while they embark on an expedition. However, unlike Job Simulator, the tools around you will be largely unfamiliar unless you're a fan of the show. Thankfully, you're instructed on how to use a majority of them with voice work from the cartoon's co-creator Justin Roiland, the same actor that voices both lead characters. Sound design throughout the game is well done, but it is Justin's involvement that really brings it all together.
Welcome to space, Clone Morty. You're pretty insignificant from up here, huh? Actually, you're just pretty insignificant in general.
The two characters will occasionally join you in the garage, but as they travel, you're also given a wristwatch that you hold up to your face in order to contact Rick or answer a call from him. There is rarely a moment without Rick's demeaning, patronizing, and hilarious banter.
Oh, good, you found the watch. You're not as dumb as I thought.
Visually, it accurately translates the design of the cartoon, albeit with a slight dull to a lot of the color. Animations for the NPCs are well done, specifically so considering you'll interact with them occasionally. And when you do, it doesn't feel unnatural except for one moment toward the end of the main plot that involves you breaking up a fight. Stopping the fight itself results in a pretty jarring break in the action, but the moment after features a hilarious moment where the two characters argue who you should shoot. When it comes to gameplay, the garage has 3 areas you can teleport to and maneuver around in room scale. The game structure gives you a sandbox area to run wild in while also introducing you to typical VR minigames, such as a time puzzle to charge batteries or a wave shooter with twin blasters. It is with those additional games that virtual Rick-ality hits its only true speed bump, a lack of depth. The sandbox segment has plenty of content, but the minigames are shallow. For example, the battery charging task only has 2 variations to it, and when you're given the twin blasters for your last stand on an alien planet, all of the aliens are exactly the same model. Otherwise, virtual Rick-ality is a solid evolution of Owlchemy's previous creation. My favorite part of the game is the Mr. U-Seeks ball, which you throw out to summon your own assistant that mirrors your exact movement. You can throw multiple balls, and they can also add versatility to your tasks, such as allowing you to throw or hand them off in different directions. You can also act outside of the game's allowed space with them, but there sadly just aren't enough things to take more advantage of that particular ability. Once you overcome the game's ultimate task, which is only relayed to you in hilarious fashion right at the end and brings one of your first tasks full circle, the game opens up to free play. You can seek out multiple Easter eggs within the game like cassette tapes or finding ways to interact with Morty's father, Jerry. The tasks that brought you into the game's conclusion also have additional challenges, adding a little bit of replay value. I completed the game in about 2.5 hours, and the additional content adds roughly 45 minutes to an hour, plus the extended free play. There's very smart design through and through. There's a lot that can happen in the garage or the space that you travel to via portal, and you'll almost certainly lose or destroy one of the crucial items to advance one of the mini-games or the story itself. There were even a couple moments when objects unexpectedly flew across the garage or simply disappeared, but these were infrequent happenings. Thankfully, there's a computer in the garage that allows you to order items you've come across and they'll be instantly delivered to you. The humor is weaved throughout as well, and even when you die and have to make a decision to be brought back to life, you'll be letting out a few guttural laughs. The positives for Rick and Morty Virtual Rick-ality are that there is great authenticity from top to bottom, it's genuinely hilarious, there's plenty to interact with, there's great utilization of Mr. U-Seeks and the mirrored movement mechanic, and there are tons of Easter eggs to find for fans of the show. However, the negatives are that some of the minigames lack depth, there are animation hiccups here and there, and there are some cool elements that are really underutilized. Upload VR awards Rick and Morty Virtual Rick-ality a final score of 8.5 out of 10. It's a natural evolution of Owlchemy's simulated job specialization. The Rick and Morty license enhances the humor that was prevalent throughout Job Simulator, and there are some welcome evolutions of Owlchemy's style as well, like the addition of a plot and NPCs you can actually interact with. You'll wish some of those elements were expanded upon a bit more, but there are never any moments that felt uncomfortable or unnatural, even as you step through portals into new spaces. With all eyes on Owlchemy after the success of Job Simulator, the team executed in a big way and will continue forward as one of the premier developers of VR games.